This presentation is about anatomy of the larynx. In this, we are discussing the extension of the larynx, skeleton of the larynx, that is the cartilages and the joints and membranes of the larynx. The larynx extends from the base of the tongue to the trachea, and this lies opposite the third and the third to sixth cervical vertebrae, and it is located at a higher level in children. The length of the larynx is 44 millimeter average in men and 36 millimeter in women. The laryngeal cartilages, there are three unpaired and three paired cartilages. The unpaired cartilages are the thyroid cartilage, cricoid cartilage, and the epiglottis. And the paired are the arytenoid cartilage, the corniculate cartilage also called the Santorini, and cuneiform cartilage also called cartilage of Risberg. Now the thyroid cartilage is the largest of all. It has two ala which meet in the midline, and it makes an angle of 90 degrees in men and 120 degrees in women, and that angle is called thyroid angle. And the cricoid cartilage is the only laryngeal cartilage which forms a complete ring, and the cricoid has the posterior part which is expanded and the anterior part which is a narrow. The narrow anterior part is called arch, and the posterior expanded part is called lamina. The third is the epiglottis. The epiglottis is a leaf-shaped cartilage. It is a fibroelastic cartilage, and it has an attachment to the body of the hyoid by a hyoepiglottic ligament. It is attached to the thyroid cartilage just above the middle part of the thyroid angle by a ligament called thyroepiglottic ligament. This is a posterior to anterior view of the larynx opened up to show the thyroid cartilage, cricoid cartilage, the epiglottis. This is the part where the epiglottis is attached, and these are the paired cartilages, the arytenoid cartilage, the corniculate cartilage, and the cuneiform cartilage. The corniculate and cuneiform are less significant, whereas the arytenoid cartilage are very important. The arytenoid cartilages, they are pyramidal in shape. This is the shape, and the base articulates with the cricoid cartilage, and this arytenoid cartilage has a muscular process and a vocal process, and the corniculate and cuneiform are tiny cartilages. They are embedded within the aryepiglottic fold, and these cartilages give strength to the aryepiglottic fold. Coming to the laryngeal joints, two important joints are the cricoarytenoid joint and the cricothyroid joint. Here, this is the anterior to posterior view. This is the previous one was a posterior to anterior view, and we are in this we are seeing the larynx from anterior to posterior. This is the cartilage sitting on the arytenoid cartilage sitting on the cricoid cartilage, and this is the muscular process as I mentioned. This is the vocal process. To the vocal process, the vocal cord is attached, and to the muscular process, muscles of the larynx are attached. This cricoarytenoid joint is an important joint. It is a synovial joint surrounded by a capsular ligament, and this joint is formed between the base of the arytenoid cartilage and the upper border of the cricoid lamina. Lamina is the posterior extended part of the cricoid cartilage, and the movements that occur in the cricoarytenoid joint are the rotatory movement and the gliding movement. Rotatory is the arytenoid rotates. The gliding is the two arytenoid cartilages coming together. The next important joint is the cricothyroid joint. Again, this is a synovial joint formed between the inferior corner of the thyroid. This is the inferior corner of the thyroid cartilage and the articular facet of the cricoid cartilage. Here, this is this has a transverse axis and the cricoid cartilage rotates around the transverse axis. This is how the movement of the cricoarytenoid joint causes closure and opening of the vocal cord, that is the rima glottis. Now the laryngeal membranes and the ligament. So we classify these membranes and ligament as extrinsic and intrinsic. The extrinsic ligament, they connect the laryngeal structures to the neighboring structures, whereas the intrinsic ligaments and the membranes, they connect the structures of the larynx. Now the intrinsic are the the extrinsic are the thyrohyoid between the hyoid bone and the thyroid cartilage. Why this is extrinsic? Because hyoid bone is not a part of the larynx. That is why it is extrinsic membrane. And the cricotrachea. This is the cricoid and this is the first ring of the trachea. This is the cricotracheal membrane and the hyoepiglottic. As I showed in the first picture, a ligament connecting the hyoid to the middle part of the epiglottis. So these are the extrinsic membranes and the ligament, and this thyrohyoid membrane, it extends between the lower border of the hyoid bone to the upper border of the thyroid cartilage, and this membrane has opening for the internal laryngeal nerve and the superior laryngeal vessels. Coming to the intrinsic membranes, two important membranes are the cricovocal membrane and the quadrangular membrane. The others are the cricothyroid membrane and the thyroepiglottic membrane. So first let us see what is the importance of this cricovocal membrane, which also forms the conus elasticus. It is a triangular fibroelastic membrane. The lower border is attached to the upper border of the arch of the cricoid cartilage and the upper border is free, and this upper free border stretches between the middle of the thyroid angle and the vocal process of the arytenoid cartilage, and this free border along with the other side forms the conus elasticus. So this is an important component of the true vocal cords. This is the true vocal cord, and what you are seeing here is the conus elasticus. This is a coronal section and this is the sagittal section. And next is the quadrangular membrane. This lies deep to the epiglottic fold and the lower border of which forms the false vocal cords. This is the quadrangular membrane seen in the sagittal structure. Sagittal structure, and this extends between the epiglottis and the arytenoid cartilages. This is why the fold is called aryepiglottic folds, and as it is seen in this picture, the coronal view, the lower free border forms the false vocal cord or vestibular folds. And next is the cricothyroid membrane. The cricothyroid membrane extends between the cricoid cartilage and the thyroid cartilage. And the importance of cricothyroid membrane is this can be palpated easily in a person, and in an emergency situation where there is an obstruction to the airway by the lodgement of a foreign body at the level of the vocal cord. This is the level of the vocal cord, and this is the level of the cricothyroid membrane. And cricothyroid membrane lies below the level of the foreign body lodge. Hence, for an emergency, you can create a airway by making a opening in the cricothyroid membrane, that is called cricothyroidotomy. Next, intrinsic ligament is the thyroepiglottic ligament which attaches the epiglottis to the thyroid cartilage just above the level of the attachment of the vocal cord. That attachment is called petiole of the epiglottis. This is about the skeleton, joints, membranes, and ligaments of the vocal cord.